How about now? That should probably fix it. Hello, investigators! And that was a slightly bumpy start because it was set to the wrong audio device. Can people hear me now? Can I get in the chat? Can people hear my sweet, sweet, way too little sleep voice? No, can't hear me, but probably hopefully that's still a desync. Give it a minute. Stream ain't on. I'm streaming now. You should be able to see my face. Can you hear me? Uh-oh. Yes, works. Yep, and you can also hear me. I'm assuming. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Well, hopefully that's all the issues we're gonna have today, because it's time to get excited. It's time for the campaign play along. So if you were here for the last time, then you already know what it's going to be about. But for those of you who are new here, I organized a thing called the campaign play along, and I'm going to be excitedly talking to you about what it is. I'm going to be drawing basic weaknesses for people who are participating, and generally having a good time. So let's do this. Delay is like 30 seconds. That's fine. I don't care about the delay, or at least I don't need live chat interaction, I think. So let's go over to the snakes. Let's go over to The Forgotten Age, which is the campaign that was voted on by the community, so you only have yourself to blame, as the campaign play-along campaign for the second campaign play-along. And so let's talk about what I'm going to be doing. Well, I'm going to be talking about the rules for the campaign play-along. I'm going to be introducing a very fun new thing that somebody in the chat came up with, the Stella Award. More on that in a minute. I'm going to be drawing random basic weaknesses for everybody who signed up and told me that they wanted me to draw their random basic weaknesses. I'm going to be putting them in a little spreadsheet file, and so you can easily find them, and hopefully that goes a little better than last time. And then I might be doing some live play. So just to be completely open for a minute, I had basically no sleep last night. I am very tired. I'm very excited, and hopefully the hype is going to carry me for like an hour, but I think it's probably a bad idea if I try to do live play. Maybe later this week. The Stella Award. People are now hearing about the Stella Award. Oh, it's good. Yeah, Eugene, I don't know how to say your last name, I'm sorry, but you came up with the name of it, and I think you're going to be excited with what I did with it. So let's start by really quickly talking about what is the campaign play-along. And the campaign play-along really started as this idea of, well, COVID and everything's happening, and we just want to play Arkham, and we want to have this sense of community and kind of doing this thing together. And so it's like, what if we just play the campaign, all of us at the same time, we play one scenario every week, and we have this channel in the Discord server of the Mythosbusters that you can join by going to discord.gg/Mythosbusters. And then you can go into that channel, the campaign play-along channel, and you chat with each other. You talk about what the story is doing, how you're beating the scenarios, all that sort of thing. I have Google Forms that show you can sign up, you can log your results, everything. It's pretty straightforward. The link for registering, if you haven't registered yet, is in the chat. It's not too late to register. It's never too late. And just it's fun, right? It's not meant to be a competition. It's not meant to be stressful. If you can't do it, it's fine. Just, no hard feelings. But, it's meant to be this kind of fun thing that we're all doing. And the only other kind of thing going into it is that we use slightly different deck building rules. So instead of using every card available, because that creates kind of different experiences for people who have very different card collections, and also just generally a lot of people have had these cards for a long time, and so they kind of know what they're doing. We have, for the play-along, a smaller card pool. We have all the cards from the core set, the Investigator starter deck, the Return to the Night of Zealot, and then the campaign that we're playing. So in this case, Forgotten Age and the Return to the Forgotten Age box. And that's it. And this is kind of a dual-purpose restriction. On the one hand, for if you're experienced players, then this is maybe a nice chance to try something new, play with cards you don't usually play with, kind of really, test your deck building skills. And if you're a newer player who maybe doesn't have a full collection yet, this is a good chance to see what other people are building with fewer cards and kind of pick up this hopefully more self-constrained and kind of simpler card pool. Get your toe in the water, see how deck building suits you, and then go from there. Finally, a lot of these decks do get posted onto ArkhamDB, especially at the end, and so maybe having a whole bunch of lists online for people who have a smaller collection could help them as well. And now the Stella Award. So this is really, yeah, Eugene of Starnet from Discord. Eugene, you're also in the, I hope I'm saying your name right. You're in the chat. You came up with the idea, and I was immediately like, I mean, I have to do that because I love Stella, and also just the idea was very funny. So the idea is that during the campaign of Play Along, if you come across some kind of hilarious fail or something just goes terribly, terribly wrong and everything crashes and burns, write that down. Add me in the campaign Play Along channel. That's important. You have to add me. You have to mention that it's about the Stella Award, and you have to do it in the campaign Play Along channel. If you do it somewhere else, and I happen to see it, maybe it's not so bad, but please do it in that channel. And in order to put kind of an incentive in here, if you, at the end of the campaign, I'm going to go pick the one that I like the most, and I'm going to send you a copy of Maxine Newman's, the lead developer of the Arkham's book, the Dark Drifters, the Keener Crescent. Probably going to be sending you a PDF copy because shipping costs are insane. But, I mean, I can tell you right now, it's a really nice book. It's a really nice book. I've read it. It's very good. So, I mean, that's hopefully a little bit of incentive. So just, you know, yeah, share your best epic fail, your funny story, whatever, and hopefully we can get some catharsis out of that. And, you know, you could win a book. All right, so with all of that kind of out of the way and all the craziness, time to draw some basic weaknesses. So the way this works, I'm assuming most of you have played Arkham before. At the start of the campaign, you get a random basic weakness. And as part of this community event, I'm going to be drawing them for a lot of people. I have over 75 weaknesses to draw, so if I don't get to you right away, I'm sorry, but I'm not that sorry because I have a lot of people who signed up for this. And I'm really excited for that, but it's also a lot. So it is an excellent book, yes. So I have in front of me here a spreadsheet with all the different teams that signed up, that said that they wanted to do this. And I do have to adjust my monitor just a second. All right. So I've got here every basic weakness in the game. And I shuffled them up just to make sure you all know it's completely random. And spent like 5 minutes this morning looking for it through the gates, and then realized it was literally already on my desk. So the way it's going to work is everybody who's signed up, most of you probably already have signed up, you have this little option, draw random basic weakness on stream. Most of you, probably if you're here, check that option. And the idea is that I'm just going to show you what the weakness is, and then I'm going to write it down. And then I'm going to probably try to move through it pretty quickly because we don't want to be here all day. So starting up, the very first theme that wanted was Harvey's Nightmare. Discord username Prinny. And just full collection, so let's do this. Do you guys want to see the spreadsheet? I kind of think it's not that interesting, so I just want to, show cards to the camera. Oh boy. So this is the Unspeakable Oath Cowardice, which is, I believe, the evasion one, which, given that Prinny's playing Harvey, that's gonna suck. That's not gonna be a good one. Okay, so Unspeakable Oath Cowardice. And so one of the important... you seem excited about it. It's gonna be less XP, but, one of the important things is that I actually have kind of the stack of weaknesses, and I'm just gonna keep moving through them. So anything you see is out of the stack until I flip the stack, I guess. So anything that somebody else hits, you're not gonna hit. Next up is Wester, playing Patrice. You didn't say what collection, so I'm just gonna assume full collection. And you've got Nihilism. Ooh, that's a nice one. Nihilism is a very mild basic weakness, if you ask me. There's just a little bit of damage in hover if you draw the autofail, which you're gonna do anyway. So yeah. Next up we have Castania. Campaign playload cards only, and they want 2 weaknesses. They're playing Ursula and Skids. For Ursula, oh, you didn't write down if you want return or not. I'm going to put this one to the side. I'm going to put this one to the side. I'm just going to keep going until I hit a play along card. No, no, yes. Okay, well, Ursula has amnesia. Yikes. And Skids is haunted. If you can tell me what your collection is in the chat and what your team name is, I can just fix that, no problem. If you are like, I have a full collection, that's fine. You don't have to say it if you have a full collection. The next one is the Oxford Explorer. Campaign play-along cards. I should put these ones back in the stack. Well, that's one. Obsessive. From the Harvey starter deck. We've had 2 starter deck weaknesses so far. This one's a little worse than Nihilism, though. Because this one's just gonna make you lose some cards. Did you playing Finn? Ooh, that Finn does not like that, I think. Winnie the Snake Charmer. That is a great team name. And Winnie the Snake Farmer, Winnie's gonna have the 13th Vision. And then there's also It's the Jungle Out There by the same person, the Spectral Watcher. For Tommy, Amnesia. The first duplicate we hit. And for Ursula, that's not from the... Oh, actually, no, you have full collection. So, Unspeakable Oath, Blood... that's really... You really wanted those in reverse. You really don't want the Bloodthirst on Ursula and the Amnesia on Tommy. I guess you don't want Amnesia on anyone, but... That is not a bad weakness for Guardian, but it's kind of a bad weakness for everybody else. Running Out of Time. Well, Stubborn Detective for Rita. And an Internal Injury for Finn. Detective. Next up, we have Team Bad Behavior. Ursula. Sorry, always making sure that I do the right... Oh, Ursula is gonna have a Day of Reckoning. Seal the Elder Sign. I mean, I've seen Ursula's Elder Sign a lot recently, and it hasn't always been doing anything, because sometimes you're like, well, I just want to stay here and get some clues, so... Maybe that's not so bad. And then for Winnie... Winnie is a Mob Enforcer. She can outrun him. You're gonna be fine. It's not like, you know, TFA has a freak ton of enemies or anything like that. Akan, you're up next. Oh, I'm really sorry, because I saw that you were playing True Solo and I drew you the Silver Twilight Acolyte. I'm sorry. That is a nasty, nasty weakness. Did I write that down wrong? No. Next up, the Cobra Commandos. Mark and Stella. Mark has a very, very bad nightmare. In fact, his worst nightmare. Or your worst nightmare. Is it the player's worst nightmare or the character's worst nightmare? You can argue about that one in the comments. And Stella, oh, a Cursed Follower. So your game is going to be involving some curse cards. Or not curse cards, but curse tokens. Hope you have those. If not, get them at Arbits. They're really shiny. German, we're not sponsored. I'm not sponsored, by the way. German Geek House. Father Matteo, I'm seeing oofs and oofs in the chat, so I'm assuming didn't go so well. Father Matteo has a Dread Curse. It's actually probably fine. Depends a little bit on how you want to play him, I guess. And the Ursula is going to be a little self-centered. Interesting to see how that'll affect you. Well, we're going through this pretty quickly. I'll take a second to drink. Trish Pliskin. Of course, Trish Scarborough and more Dread Curses. That's both of those out. I think there's one more Cursed Follower, and that's the only cards that add curses in this pool, so exciting. Snacks and... No, wait, sorry. First up, New Trish's Breakfast. I believe they're not in the chat. Upside down username. Oh, well, speak of the devil. It's the other Cursed Follower. You're playing Trish, though, so... Oh, wait, no, that would actually be awful, because you do want to kill that one. It gets kind of out of control otherwise. Snacks and Violins. So we have Actinion. Are you in the chat? I remember seeing you, but I might just be misremembering. I see. Thank you very much. I'm assuming I just drew your weakness. Trish is... Oh, I'm sorry. Trish is overzealous. And what do we get for Patrice? Second overzealous, come on, do it. No. Patrice gets through the gates. That's interesting. Because Patrice is going to... I don't know. Like, you can hit some things with that weakness that just make, I think, Patrice a nightmare to play. If you hit your corners with that one... Yeah, Filion points out, yeah, there are no more cards that have curses in the pool, so everybody else is not going to get any curses. Good. The Dream Ritas, which I believe I was supposed to not draw, return to TFA. Okay. Well, how about the thing that follows instead? For Rita. So, have fun invading that one, I guess. And for Luke, an Eternal Injury. Oh, on the 5 health Mystic? That's not gonna end well. And that's both Eternal Injuries out, but I don't think we've seen a Chronophobia yet, so hope you all like horror, because we're gonna get some. Oh, and the next one is a very special guest. So I hope you all are familiar with Drawn to the Flame. Next up is the Frank Adventure into the Forgotten Age, TFA and TFA, by Zoe Glass, aka Frank from the podcast Drawn to the Flame. So I'm going to draw an extra special one for him, and I really, really, really hope that I get Doomed here, because I will never live it down. Make sure I'm randomizing these. Come on, one time Doomed. Well, it's Chronophobia. So, I guess you got lucky this time, Frank. Jungle Orphan Annie, Wendy Adams is also overzealous. Yikes. Wendy can draw like 15 encounter cards in one Mythos phase, right? That's no problem. Next up we have Constellation Prize, also by Actelion. How many weaknesses have I drawn for you, Actelion, so far? Actelion. The next one for Norman is Drawing the Sign. That's gonna not be great. I guess maybe it's not that bad. You don't play in big hand size? Do you play Norman not big hand size? I haven't played Norman yet. I know he's like announced for the Edging the Earth box, and his new signatures look sweet, so I don't know. And next up for the absolute best investigator in the game, for Stella. Stella, can you stop falling asleep, please? Narcolepsy for that one. Did I spell narcolepsy correct? I love that weakness, by the way. I think it's super thematic, and it's like not the worst, which I like. Team Nin, with two investigators that aren't decided yet. Well, the first one has Chronophobia. And the second one, Indebted. Right. The permanent weakness. Is the only permanent weakness so far? I think so. I mean, the one that isn't like a story weakness or anything. I think there's a story weakness somewhere. The bootleg Snake Venom Bust. I love these team names. I just want to say that. I should probably link the spreadsheet with all the team names later, because it's very funny. A bootleg Venom Snake Bust for Finn. Most horrific weakness art in the game. Hypochondria. Hey, bye, Thomas. Oh, you're gonna get vaccinated. Nice. Go get him. And, well, Roland is paranoid. Probably because he just got a giant article. I should talk about that. So we just got paranoid, parallel Roland last night, which is super exciting. And if you haven't looked at it yet, go to the FFG website. Go look it up. It is amazing. He has a completely different playstyle. It reminds me of Adam from Netrunner, if you've ever played him. He has these directives that make him not be able to do certain things, but then he gets very powerful upsides. Next up is Exowaddle. I swear I know how to pronounce that word, but I just don't. Wendy is has psychosis. I guess not if, she has psychosis. It doesn't define her. And Winifred. We got it, ladies and gentlemen. and other investigators. We got it. Doomed has been called. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Especially because Axel is setting up a sort of sibling program to the campaign play along, where they're doing a campaign play along for the homebrew content. So homebrew investigators and homebrew. I think that's a. I now have to check if that's actually true, and I'm not just pulling it out of my. But basically, yeah, no, that is Axel. So I guess I'm letting them copy my work, and then in return, I'm just dooming them. Sorry, it's yeah, and as people are pointing out in the chat now, yeah, it is. It is also on Winifred, who draws like a mad woman. So, sorry, Axel, you're gonna have to pick a new investigator after like 4 scenarios, probably. Next, we have Timey Wimey Winnie. So. You said campaign play along cards only plus Reckless. The only thing I don't understand about that quite yet is that Reckless is in the campaign play along cards because the starter decks are in there. So I'll just shuffle up and pick something else. Oh, we have some nasty ones left in here. That one's in here. For Winifred, a Dark Pact. Sacrifices must be made. Let's hope Father Mateo doesn't mind getting stabbed on occasion. He's probably fine with it, right? Well, you said you wanted Reckless. Have some Reckless, but not on Winifred. Have some Reckless on Father Mateo. I also have some good news for Coltos, I think the username. They were very afraid about Patrice getting doomed, but I do know, I think there's still one of those chain weaknesses in here, because isn't offer that you can't refuse still in here? Oh yeah, it definitely still is in here. So let's see. For Patrice, self-destructive. That's fine. Just outrun the snakes. Just don't hurt anybody. You don't get any doom, or you don't get any vengeance. You're fine. If an investigator dies, are we allowed to take another for the play along? Yeah, of course. You're just playing the normal rules of Arkham. I guess it's a little complicated because you have to somehow let me know that, but I don't think you need to change the spreadsheet or anything, so maybe just type it in the notes field. There's always a notes field on those registration, on those results sheets, and just put down that one of them didn't make it out. Anyway, for Coltos, for Trish, a 13th Vision. Don't know how bad that is, honestly. I've had the 13th Vision a lot. It's kind of an annoying weakness, but it's not terrible. Next up for J-Marsh, the Astounding Discoveries. We haven't hit any of the 4-player teams yet, but those are going to be a thing. Just don't draw cards as, as Winifred. That's a problem. For Mark Harrigan, Indebted. Guardians love not having lots of resources. I'm sure that's fine. And then Stella Clark. Speaking of not having any research, this entire team is going to be broke the entire time. I'm so sorry. Next up, we have how do you say that? Solid Fair? Great. Guess Ursula's not drawing cards. I didn't draw it on Ursula, did it? Didn't I doom Winifred? Yeah, I doomed Winifred. Anyway, Solid Fair, Stella Clark, best girl. The Tower. A very, very nasty little piece of cardboard. Parallel Skids coming up with Skids marks for Kong George the 7th, I think. The other tower, I guess, because we hadn't seen that one yet. Back-to-back towers. That's not how you win a game of Arkham, I think, but we'll see. These are solo players. Maybe they'll figure it out. The King of the Skidders. Another Skids O'Toole. There's a lot of Skids O'Toole here. Which I love, because I love Skids. Through the Gates. Which I've been looking for, which is because I was like, I lost it. Oh wait, no, it's literally right here on my desk and I grabbed it already. Chaos Crew 2. Campaign and play along only, minus Stella and Winifred, it looks like. So, for Alk and Safina Stimp, so that's not in there. You didn't say if you wanted to return to or not. You don't have Stella, so that's out. Well, I guess you all get lucky, because the bottom 5, one of them was offer you cannot refuse, but because I don't know if you have return to or not, let's refer for TFA. I guess it does say plus return. You might have it. Actually, I'm just going to mention that you probably have it, so I'm just going to give it to you. Sorry, you have offer you cannot refuse. You have it on Skids, though, who maybe is able to spend some money to make some money and, you know, get that whole money thing going. And the next up, Persephone Simp, playing Mark Harrigan. There's no Mark in here. Okay, I'm going to have to apologize to these people. I'm so sorry, because I gave them offer you cannot refuse, which is the doomed, but instead of having to draw it 5 times, you have to pay money, or you draw it 3 times. And so I shuffle the deck, I draw the top card of the deck, you all know what it is. So I have just given you the 2 worst weaknesses in the game, and I'm really, really sorry. If you want me to redraw, I guess I will give you a special stream. Filion and Corrupt Goody are playing Redhead Redemption. I'm assuming they are playing 2-player 4-handed. So I'm just going to give you 4 for Nathaniel Cho, a Dark Pact. That's fine, he's got plenty of health. For yeah, the oof. I think chat just got caught up. Trish is Reckless, as spies can be. James Bond moves and everything. Patrice Hathaway, Self-Destructive. I think that's the second Self-Destructive Patrice we have now. That's funny. And the Luke Robinson is Overzealous. Actually, wait, Filion, you're in the chat. How bad did I do? I gave you Dark Pact on Nathaniel, Reckless on Trish, Self-Destructive on Patrice, and Overzealous on Luke. I think that last one is probably pretty bad. The rest is probably fine. Jungle Boogie with a Scatatonic. Patrice Hathaway, Amnesia. That's probably like super mild on Patrice. I mean, it means you have 1 turn where you're not doing anything, I guess, which is not great, but you also just kind of don't care. And I don't know if that means I need to shuffle my pile better or worse, but Winifred also has Amnesia, and it's definitely worse on Winifred. It was fine until Luke. Yeah, it was definitely fine until Luke. Let's see. Next up, Brush and Bow, which is a great name for a Patrice Sefina deck. Damn. Patrice has the Unspeakable Oath Bloodthirst. That's going to be interesting. I think you can make that work. You just need to... Wait, no, there's no Fire Axe in this card pool. Right. It's like, yeah, you can just Fire Axe people. Wait, no, that's not how the entire thing that I made works. So, you know. And Sefina is haunted, presumably by some sort of Carcossian entity. Feed for Days, which is hopefully not a sex thing. Stella and Ursula. Stella has a Stubborn Detective. And Ursula has Chronophobia. That is very nasty, or I think that's more nasty than it might sound, just because don't forget that her normal weakness also deals Hover, so that's gonna tick up pretty quickly. Next up is Hex Education, and I just got a message from Eugene. You're up. Okay? Do you have the Return 2 cards or not? So if you have Return to TFA, you're getting this one, and otherwise you're getting another one. I need to read all the cards and know if you have that. You have that one. You have that one. How many do I need to draw here? 4. Oh boy. You have that one. You have that one. Well, I have either 4 or 5. You let me know if you have Return 2 or not, Eugene, okay? No returns. Okay, so you managed to dodge the Dendromorphosis. So let me know if that what you're getting now is better or worse. For Jim Culver, the 13th Vision. for, I should probably do this first. For Rita, Indebted. For Min, Paranoia. For Diana, The Tower. That's probably pretty fun on Diana, because it's like you can't mulligan, right? Or you can't commit cards, but it's like, you're Diana, just, you know, willpower it up. Let me know if I did any of that wrong, you just throw it in the chat, but I think that was fine. Next up, The Young and the Restless, Luke and Rita. Luke, another tower. That's the second time in a row, and I've definitely shuffled the pile in between, so... Rita, A Day of Reckoning. That's probably worse for Luke than for Rita, although Rita's Elder Sign I think is also reasonable here. Lots of moves. Next up, we have Airmail. Right, of course. So Stella and Winifred. Stella, a Mob Enforcer. And a Winifred. The Silver Twilight Acolyte strikes again. We're almost at the end here. We have a couple teams left. First up is Team Chalk. Really? For Nathaniel Cho, just making sure that we have... No, that's not in there. We have somebody who has a smaller card pool that they want to play with, so we're just gonna... Well, that's one. And no return, so somebody gets to dodge the offer you can't refuse, but it's... Yeah, that works. So for our good friend Nathaniel Cho, Atiophobia. If you mispronounce this card name, take a horror, because you failed it. It's the fail test, take a horror. And for Trish, it is Chronophobia. So lots of horror going around in that team. Probably pack your Elder Sign amulets for that one. Don't forget, that's in the core set. You can play with that. And in this campaign, you might want to. That's part of why, you know, the campaign play along is kind of this thing that I'm pretty proud of. Is it also encourages playing cards you don't always play. All right, one more solo. Well, two more solos, I guess. I'm at the end there. Robinson Crusoe for Luke Robinson. Unspeakable of, which one is that? Curiosity. Curiosity. Sorry, my camera's having some difficulty with the autofocus. We have an epic fail, trying for an early Stella's award. Roland's Bank Parallel is getting a Worst Nightmare. And Agnes Parallel is getting a Cursed Follower. Is there still one more, there are a couple more people running around with curses now, because there's just too many of you. Have to go to the stack twice. The Yellow Sign. They are last 4-player team. Actually, hold on. You don't have Innsmouth. let me get you 4 weaknesses that you can actually play with. You don't have. You do have Dream Eaters. You have Circle and Done. You have. I would hope you have starter decks, but you don't actually save. I'm just gonna not do that then. You have Carcosa? You don't have. Yeah, you do have Carcosa. You poor thing, because I drew really bad weaknesses from Carcosa. For Mark from the Yellow Team, the Yellow Sign, which is funny, one of the weaknesses I draw. But Mark is self-centered. Good Guardians always thinking about themselves. Trish has a vision. 13 of them, in fact. But the first 12 were false. Min is overzealous. I'm sure the Seeker isn't going to draw through their deck like multiple times in a scenario and, you know, completely ruin the game for everybody. And finally, Father Mateo, true to the name of the team, is drawing the sign. I've played with somebody who, while they had this weakness in play, were constantly drawing the yellow sign on anything they could reach. I had to stop them before they started scribbling on the card itself. We have two more... So it says 2 more two-handed teams, but one of the teams doesn't have a second investigator listed, so I'm going to have to check that out in a second. Tropical Blunder, which is, I think, another great freaking team name. Winifred Habermock, Narcolepsy. Winnie just falls asleep behind the wheel. Oh wait, no, you don't have dream meters. Sorry. This is one of the ones that has a lot of instructions, so I had to check that. Circle numbers. I'm gonna give you... Let me just give you 2 weaknesses. You don't have Jacqueline. You don't have returns. You don't have anything. What do you have? Let me give you a fun one. Here. Let me give you an internal injury, which is probably considered a threat if I, wasn't doing holding cards. And for Zoe, something for her to engage and punch many, many times, because it's the thing that follows. I'll have to look up really quickly the Tinker-Tailor Soldier Spy. Tinker-Tailor Sailor Spy. I'm assuming that means your other investigator is Trish, because the only one I've got listed here is Silas. But I can't imagine that it would be anybody other than Trish if that's your team name. But to be entirely safe, where's team Tinker-Tailor Soldier? Oh yeah, Silas and Trish. I just didn't update the sheet properly apparently. That one's on me. You have the full collection, so I'm going to give you the full collection. Silas has an internal injury. He has 9 health. He's fine. And Trish has money issues. Indebted. Okay, and now finally, I'm the only one that's left. I'll check if in the spreadsheet to see if anybody registered between when I started this and when I last checked. It doesn't look like it. There are 2 new entries, which is awesome. Thank you all for signing up. But those 2 entries did say that they didn't want to get their weaknesses pulled on camera. Okay, so the only one left is myself. I might be playing more than once, but we'll have to see. I definitely know that I'm going to be continuing Team At Me About Stella. So we're going to do a solo Stella run for sure. And so what I'm going to do is just shuffle the stack up entirely and draw 1 weakness for myself. And you all know it's going to be like Offer You Can't Refuse or Doomed, right? Like, not going to be good. Here we go. Close my eyes. I want that one. What is that? Oh, it's the Hypochondria. It's awful art, but not awful ability. I can take it. And while I was shuffling, I knocked 1 card out of the stack, and you all know it was the 1 card that I knocked out of the stack because of course it was. But I got Hypochondria, and I'm taking that one. Might have to get doomed in for something else. All right, and that's 40 minutes into the stream. I've done all the basic weaknesses. I will share this in the chat real quick. Make sure that people can actually read it. I'll also throw it in the Discord chat. So really quickly, just pictures on the web. That's not gonna help. Sorry, somebody in Discord just posted that like because I was a little stressed. It's like picture everybody in their underwear. It's like that doesn't help with sleep deprivation. Your help is appreciated, but you know. Hey, you're welcome. If you have any questions right now, if anything you want to know, please let me know. I think I'm going to just leave the stream on for a couple of minutes, check everything, and then... Brinny, are you just saying that because I gave you, Doomed? Did I give you Doom? I gave somebody Doomed. Thought it was you. No, I gave you Unspeakable Oath. You're fine. Hey, you're welcome. Also, drink some water. It's like freaking hot. You stay hydrated. And I think I've decided I'm not going to do live play right now. So I will be ending the stream in a bit. But if you have any questions, let me know in the chat. Otherwise, we're just going to be going towards a wrap up here in a minute. I should pin this. I know, and honestly, I considered it. The best part is I knocked the Doomed out of the stack of weaknesses and was like, well, I guess I'll just pick that one up. It was like, No, this one feels better, I think. So yeah, I didn't look at it. Promise I didn't. And so, reminder, I'm going to wrap it up here. The Stella Awards. I'll be making a post about that in the Discord chat in a minute. But if you have a terrifying fail, something just going atrociously wrong to the point where even everybody's favorite milk courier can't deal with it, write it down, at me about it. You have a chance to win a copy of the PDF, the digital version for the Key in the Crescent book written by Maxine Newman. Great book. Very scary, influential, beautiful. Don't know what to say about it. And I hear that somebody's about to play Untamed World, not sure what to expect. Pain, suffering, poison, death, horror, all these things and more. Also victory points, because TFA has a lot of XP. I'll make it work. Good luck, everybody. Draw lots of Elder Signs. That's the best advice I can give you. I don't think I can do anything better than that. Don't kill too many snakes. That's bad for you. Yeah, definitely report back with your horror stories. I'm seeing people type in chat and I'm worried. We have one last minute. Yellow Sign didn't have the Dream Eaters, so they can't draw that one. We're getting a new one. Let me see. You do have Dunwich, right? I don't know if Sergey's still in the chat. Because I have a weakness. Well, indebted it is. So yeah. Philion's having fun in the chat. Let me fix that on the spreadsheet as well. Well, I don't see any more burning questions in the chat. Unless Eugene, I guess Eugene is still typing. I'm gonna just give them a second. But unless anybody has anything real quick. Oh, they're just talking about how thematic the things is. That's awesome. Do you mind if I just post that here? Or can you just post it here? Because I love that comment. I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you all so much for watching. It was a blast. The campaign play along wouldn't exist if you guys didn't, if you all didn't support it. So thank you very much, and hopefully see you soon.